Hey friends, welcome to the Talk and Tile podcast, the official podcast of the How to Tile Like a Pro brand. I'm your host, Frankie Martinez, and I want to thank you for listening to this podcast or watching it if you are on YouTube. And we're going to have a good time today talking about 4 reasons why the tile trade could be what you're looking for. Basically, 4 benefits of the tile trade. If you have been on the fence about the tile trade or considering it or looking for a career path that you'd enjoy, this episode is for you. If you know somebody, maybe you're in the tile trade, but you know somebody else that you've been trying to recruit or you know might be good at it or looking for a career path, send them this episode. I think it'll encourage them and answer a lot of their questions. So without further ado, we're going to jump into 4 reasons why the tile trade could be what you're looking for. Before I jump in, I want to say what really is leading me to even talk about this on the podcast today is because I think it's an amazing option. And I really believe that the trades in general, of course, I'm talking about specifically the tile trade, but I believe the trades in general need to be brought to the forefront as an option, especially in high schools. You know, honestly, in most of the high schools now, it's like go to college or suck in life. And I think people need to know that that's not the only option. It's not go to college and suck in life. You could actually have another really amazing career in a trade, in so many there's a million different trades you can learn, or a lot. But I think that the choice of a trade needs to be brought back into specifically the high schools, because that's where, you know, kids, when they graduate, they're trying to choose what are they going to do in life. And college is an amazing choice. I'm not knocking that. I know people who have gone to college and are super successful and making a great career, loads of money, and that's awesome. But I also know, I'm sure you do too, many people who have gone to college and they're still wondering what they're going to do in their path, because maybe what they studied wasn't really what they want to do, or they changed their mind, or they can't get a job in what they studied in. Regardless of the case, a trade is an amazing option, should I say. It's an amazing option for students or anybody in general looking for a career. So that's why we're talking about it today. 4 reasons why the tile trade could be exactly what you're looking for. And be sure to tune in next month. This is a monthly podcast as of now. So next month we're talking about a couple reasons why the tile trade may not be the best fit for you. But today it's the bright side. 4 reasons why the tile trade could be what you're looking for. Number 1 is the money. It's a great paying career with a lot of growth potential and opportunities, which is super important. Nobody wants to do a job and just be stagnant and be stuck there. In the tile industry, specifically when you get in the trade, you start off pretty well paid. And honestly, to be real honest with you, the potential and growth cap is unlimited. You can go as far as you want and make as much money as you want in this industry. It just depends on how you're going to go about it and what you're going to do with it. But it is a very high paying trade. It's one of the highest paying trades. It may not be the highest. I'm not sure if that's plumbing or maybe electrical. There's some high paying trades, but we are definitely one of the highest paying trades, which is awesome, which I love about it, which is honestly one of the reasons I stuck with it, because I didn't join it because I just looked for, a trade. It fell into my hands, with a friend of mine, and him and his dad had a company, and they invited me to work with them, and I fell in love with it, fell in love with the work. It was a great fit for me. And when I found out how much these installers were making, I'm like, man, I need to make that money. I need to make it now. So I hustled and learned and upped my skill set, and I was able to obviously eventually start my own company and stuff like that. So, and just talking about the money aspect of the tile trade reminds me of this one kid that was working for me for just a small while, and he ended up quitting and saying that he didn't want to do it no more. And I remember our conversation. He said, Frankie, honestly, I was just doing this for the money. It was good money. I was just doing it for the money. I don't know if I really want to do this. And of course, that's good to him. He don't have to do this. But don't let it, I'm only doing it for the money, be your reason to leave. Because in all honesty, I'm only doing it for the money too, because that's why we do what we do, right? We do our career paths. Of course, we love it. There's so many aspects of the tile industry that I love, so many reasons besides money that just satisfy me and are great benefits I'm going to talk about today. But in all honesty, if I wasn't getting paid for this, I wouldn't do this either. So anyways, I just thought that was a funny topic when he told me I'm only doing it for the money. Well, everyone's doing their job for the money. It wouldn't be, you wouldn't do it if it wasn't for the money. Anyways, so money is great. Work is steady. There's always a need for it. It's an industry that will not go away. And you can get paid. When you up your skill set, you can get paid really well and quick. So I think that's a huge benefit of the tile trade is you're being able to make money fast and well, which was a huge perk for me. I got married super young and I needed to make some more money fast to provide for me and my wife. So anyways, moving on to number 2, second reason why the tile trade could be what you're looking for is acquiring a skill set. Now, this is super important. And this is one of the huge benefits that makes the tile trade stand out from a job is that it's not a job. It's learning a trade. The difference between a job and a trade is this. A job, you're getting paid for what you do. A trade, you're getting paid to acquire and enhance and up your skill set. I'll say that one more time, okay? A job is getting paid for what you do, but learning a trade is you're getting paid for your skill set, which is so valuable because when you master a trade or at least get proficient in a trade, you can literally get paid really well anywhere literally in the world. Anywhere in the world. Of course, there's different methods in different countries and stuff like that. But once you learn their methods or get some info on their methods, you're good to go. A trade is a skill set that you have that makes you as a person valuable. You can do whatever you want with that skill set. You can work for a company and demand high dollar, or you can start your own business. It's really a great asset to have an acquired proficient skill set. That's what determines your value. I was talking to a friend of mine, a contractor friend of mine, this past week about this exact topic. And it's very funny because you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me, now this part ain't funny, the Holocaust. And I remember watching tons of movies and studying, reading it in school and stuff like that about the Holocaust, about what happened. And I remember, I think it was a scene of a movie where the people were getting off of the train, going to the going to the concentration camps. And as they were going to the concentration, what is going on with me? I've never had a trouble with that word. As they were going to the concentration camps, they were dividing them into 2 lines, 2 areas. And what they were dividing them is they asked them, are you a tradesman? Do you know a trade? And the people who knew a trade were put in a separate area than the other people. And I think that's I don't know why it popped into my head this week. I really remembered that. And I thought, wow, that just proves how valuable learning a trade is. That at this point, of course, that was a very horrible event. Don't want to really go down that path. It was, horrible. But the fact that it helped keep people alive versus the other people that they didn't keep alive. And the reason they kept them alive is because they had a skill set. They knew a trade. In other words, they had value. They could bring value even as a prisoner. So they kept them alive. They fed them because they wanted to benefit from their skill set. And now what an amazing thing to think about is when you learn a trade, you have value as a person. As it's not necessarily your company or business. If that tanks, you have the skill set to make money on your own. If things fall apart and I don't know, things go really horrible, guess what? You still have your skill set that makes you a valuable person. And when you are a valuable person and can bring value to other people, there's always a price tag attached to that, which means you can take care of yourself, and your own if it came down to it. So a career is a huge, huge plus than just having a job that you're just going to get paid a wage for doing a certain activity. A trade, you're learning a skill set. You're upping your skills. So that's a huge perk, huge difference. And that's why I think a trade might be the answer you're looking for. You're not just doing something and getting paid for it. You're learning something. And every time you do another job, you learn something else from that job. You acquire a different skill set, because you'll find out in the trade very quickly, every job is different. Every job has a different foundation, different substrate, different tile you're working with. So when you put all those things into play, and you've been doing it for a long time like me, you have a really huge skill set that makes you valuable. So the third reason we're going to move on is why the tile trade is awesome is it's very rewarding. It's a very rewarding trade because it's a finished trade. A finished trade meaning your work is going to be seen. Like I know some of the other trades, I'm not knocking them. They're great at what they do, and we rely on them to do the framing, the drywall, the other stuff like that. But in all honesty, I've never seen someone walk into a house and say, "Oh my gosh, the drywall is hung so great." Drywallers don't hate me. I have good friends that are drywallers, okay? But I'm just saying that a finished trade gets a little more glory than a trade, that's not a finished trade. Plumbing, the pipes work, but you don't go, "Oh man, those pipes are really installed nice." And nobody says that because it's just functional, which is needed and makes their work valuable. But I think what makes tile rewarding is, yes, we're doing it for the money, but apart from the money, it's very rewarding. It's very satisfying to complete a job, a project, a shower, a kitchen backsplash, and then step back and look at it and just have your client really admire and say, "Wow, this is a beautiful job, beautiful, kitchen backsplash you installed," and take pictures of it and send it and post it and just be so happy. I mean, that's just a great feeling. And of course, there's different aspects of the tile trade. And I think you feel this more in the custom niche of the tile trade, custom avenue, which I'm primarily in the custom homes area of tile. We do a little bit of commercial and stuff like that, but most of the time it's custom homes, really high-end custom homes. And so for me, that's super rewarding. Super rewarding, where sometimes we get into very, custom jobs, and I'm like, man, I just really enjoy doing it. I can't wait to see the finished product. It's just very awesome. And you do get rewarded not only by your clients. I mean, occasionally, not often, but occasionally as a tile guy, clients are so happy that they don't not only pay me, but they give me a tip. I've only got a few in my career, but there have been pretty prominent tips that just, say, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate your artistry, appreciate your work." And I think that's one of the reasons that I really just fell in love with the tile industry. Is it's not just labor, it's not just, doing work. It's literally more art, especially in the custom realm, like I'm talking about. You're a real artist, and you do these projects that, man, I just love saying, wow. I remember when I was first starting, I couldn't believe it. Like, wow, I did that. That's amazing. And now, of course, it just expands to very intricate stuff, and it looks awesome. And because it is rewarding, what it does is it actually helps your mental health, which is a huge topic these days. But it does. Doing tile can help your mental health. You know why? It keeps your mind from going crazy because you are enjoying the process and getting rewarded for it. It helps your sanity. There's nothing worse than just doing the same thing over and over. The repetition is just driving your mind crazy. And in our trade, what I love about it is we have different projects. We just started a project yesterday. So we go on this job, and so now we figure it out. We do it. It'll probably take us 2 weeks, a week and a half or so. Then guess what? After that, we go on a different project, a whole new environment, a whole new area, a whole new something. And that just helps your mental health. For me, at least it does. It helps my mental health by changing scenarios and a fresh start, fresh new, a beginning and an ending, and, a different project, a different task, and how to solve these dilemmas. How are you going to fix this? How are you going to make this right? How are you going to, do all these? Problem solving is a rewarding thing, and doing artistry and getting rewarded for your work, it helps your mental health because it pleases you. It just makes you feel great. So I don't know. I may be getting too into psychology there, but I'm being honest with you. I'm not just trying to make this up. It is rewarding to have purpose. Purpose is almost more important, to your mental health than money. Obviously, money's super important, but purpose is a huge component to your mental health. When you're doing something that you believe is your purpose, your mental health is great. When you're not, you're struggling. So when you can combine that with a career, man, it's really cool. It's a really good thing. So here we go. That's number 3. It's super rewarding. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is it's an essential industry, and we really found this out, or at least I really discovered this in 2020. 2020, when the whole pandemic was going down and everything was getting shut down, and it was horrifying to see so many people not be able to work. I mean, people that wanted to work, but their industry was shut down and they couldn't work. I mean, I think about not only all the restaurant workers, but I'm a big concert goer. I love concerts. I love live music. And I was just thinking of all the people in the music industry, who working at the House of Blues, working at, the sound guys, the lighting guys, the staging guys, all those guys who, perfected their craft and mastered it. And now they can't even work, So to me, that was like, man, that must feel horrible. So because of all that, it made me super grateful for my industry. It made me, I had never been so excited to work because I see people struggling, not being able to get by. And here I am in an industry that's considered essential. Of course, all construction was considered essential. But even the tile industry was essential because, it's essential because what do they call it? Because maintaining health and safety or whatever in a home and stuff like that. So I was just super grateful. I was super grateful for my industry. I was very grateful for my trade that, we were considered essential and we could continue to work, which I wanted to. I wanted to continue to work. I didn't want to take any time off. I didn't want to, lose income or jobs or projects. Of course, there was a time where we couldn't because everyone just got scared, but our clients didn't want to do it. But then we found clients that said, let's just keep on going. I'm good if you're good. I'm like, let's do it. Let's keep working. So to me, that made me realize that a few things. First of all, how grateful I was for my industry. Second, that it is essential. It's in a very essential industry. And what that means is that because it's essential, considered an essential industry, this industry isn't going anywhere. We're very, very, very highly unlikely that a robot is going to be able to install tile in your shower. Okay, so you need a human to do that. So that makes our industry very essential, a very valuable trade. So what does that mean to you? It means it's a good investment. Investing in learning a trade, specifically my trade, the tile trade, investing in learning this trade is a great investment that you will get a payoff for the rest of your life because it's not going anywhere. There's always going to be a need for good, high quality tile installers. And once you build your reputation for that, it's just it's great. It's a good industry. So there are the 4 reasons why I believe this is a great career path. It might be the career path you've been looking for. The 4 reasons are: 1, it's a great paying career with limitless opportunity. Number 2, you're not doing a job, you are acquiring a skill set. And number 3, it's super rewarding, helps your mental health. It really does. And number 4 is it's an essential industry that isn't going anywhere, which means it's a great investment for you. So I hope these things helped you out. Again, next episode, we're going to be talking about a couple reasons why it may not be the best fit for you. And so make sure you subscribe to this podcast so that you can, you won't miss that episode. As of now, we are a monthly podcast, so you don't want to miss when that's released. But again, I thank you for listening and watching this podcast. If you have any questions, drop them in there. If there's another benefit that you realize about this industry that I missed, go ahead and write that in the comment section. I'd love to read that and get some insight on what your thoughts are. And of course, I have a few cons I'm going to talk about in the next episode. But if you want to drop a few of those, you can do that as well. Just keep it nice, all right, guys? Again, thank you for checking out this episode and listening to the Talkin' Tile podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Tile on, my friends.